Welcome to Monetize Your Passion, the podcast for moms looking to make money from their passions while making a positive impact in the lives of others. I'm Tara Lon, content strategist and certified life coach. I want to help you leverage the power of content creation, organic marketing, and goal setting so you can turn your God-led passion and purpose into profit. My prayer is that you'll find inspiration from God, encouragement, and practical ways to monetize your passion. Hello and welcome to the show. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about selecting the best platform to represent your online business. And I just want to preface this by saying choosing the right platform to show up on is vital for your success because you want to create content that targets your ideal customer. And when you do that, you're bringing them to your platform, and that inevitably is going to help your business grow. You're going to get more leads and thus more customers. So today I'm going to talk about some strategies that you can use in order to make sure that you're showing up on the right platform for your brand. And I do want to preface this by saying that this is subjective in a way because there are people listening who, maybe you have a different strategy. Maybe you're an influencer. Maybe you have to do a different strategy than the traditional method. And really there is no traditional method. So this is just a general objective view of how you should choose the right platform for your business or brand. So of course, there's always nuances to everything. So hopefully this just gives you some guidance so you can figure out what is best for you. So before I get into the heart of the conversation, I do want to tell you about some benefits of creating content for your online business. Number one, it builds brand authority and trust. When you're creating content online, especially providing it for free, you are looked at as the leader in your niche because you are creating content that people want to see, they want to view, that resonates with them, that is informational, that's educational, that's fun. So when you're creating this content, you're building trust with your audience. Another benefit is that it increases your visibility and your organic reach. So when you are creating content, then it lives on the internet, especially if you have a blog or a podcast or a YouTube channel. It just lives on, especially if it's evergreen content that people are constantly searching for. I have had years of experience writing blog posts, and I'm still getting traffic from posts that I wrote over 5-6 years ago. And it's just a continuous cycle. When you create quality content, it just lives on and it brings people to you. Another benefit is that it boosts audience engagement. So when you have relevant content, it encourages people to share your information, comment on your information, come back to you. It really builds trust in people. And then people begin to refer other people to you. When they see that you are producing valuable content, they share that information with people that they know. So there is so many benefits to you creating content that is quality and that is specific for your niche and your ideal customer. Another benefit, and this goes without saying, it generates leads, and leads lead to sales. So ultimately, you want to sell something to your ideal customer. And if you are producing content, you are bringing your ideal customer to you, and then you can present your offer to them. Another benefit is that it separates you from your competitors. So if all things are equal and you have a platform that's producing quality content and your competition is not, then people are going to gravitate towards you because you are giving them something of value. You're not just trying to sell them something. You're actually giving them information that they need, and they're going to want to keep coming back to that. Another benefit, and I might have already mentioned this a little bit, but it improves customer retention. So when you are producing consistent quality content, people are going to come back for more. They're going to show up because they know that every week you're producing some sort of content that resonates with them. And there's so many other benefits. That was just a handful of advantages. So there are some questions that I want you to ask yourself before you consider getting on any platform. So the first question you should ask yourself, what are your goals? What is the intent behind you getting on any platform? Like, why do you want to show up anywhere? Are you trying to increase your visibility? Are you trying to get more sales? Are you just trying to establish social proof? Like, what is the purpose behind you getting on any platform? Ask yourself that question and make sure you're clear on that going in. Another question you should be asking yourself is, what is your niche? And this is a two-part question. Who is your ideal customer? So when you're clear on your niche, which is a smaller segment of a huge market, and you know who your ideal customer is, then it becomes easier for you to create content because you don't want to start off creating content and you're not sure of who you're creating content for. So when I first started 10 plus years ago, I started with a blog. I was producing content for moms, but I wasn't super niche. So I wasn't very specific in who I was creating content for. And I actually spent a lot of time creating content that really I shouldn't have been creating because it was just kind of a waste of time. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to be clear on who you're creating content for, or very specific, because it takes hours sometimes to make good content, days, weeks. So you don't want to spend your time creating content and it's not for the right audience. The next question you should ask yourself is, what type of content do you want to produce? Is it going to be written? Is it video? Is it audio? When I first started, I focused on blogging because I had just gotten my master's in professional writing and I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do with this writing degree? So I had already been doing some freelance writing and I decided, you know what? I can have my own platform and start my own blog. I took all of my experience being a former actress. My husband worked and still works in the entertainment industry as a filmmaker. So he helped me come up with the name Tinseltown Mom. And when I started, my goal was to have this platform in written form. And I was going to produce all these articles about celebrity moms and just the struggles and the challenges that they go through and how it relates to everyday moms. And then I was featuring and interviewing celebrity moms about their struggles and just how they could provide helpful tips to us everyday moms. So over the years, I've interviewed over 100 celebrity moms, and that was my platform, the written form. And 5 years into it, when I had the capacity to do it, because I was working a full-time corporate job at the time, but I wanted to produce content via audio. So I started a podcast. So for you, you figure out what resonates best with your skills, with your gifts, with your passions, and you figure out for you where you want to put your time. And you marry that with all these other questions, and then that's how you can come up with the strategy that's right for your business. The next question you should ask yourself is, where does your audience spend their time? So as I mentioned, I was focusing on moms, and at the time, mommy blogging was really big back then, almost 11 years ago. So I knew I had an audience of moms because they were online looking at blogging content, but I still wanted to set myself apart when I started. I didn't want to be like all the other mommy bloggers. I actually wanted like a magazine style blog, and I was trying to set myself apart. So I knew my audience was online and looking at blogs, but think about for yourself. Let's say you are targeting your ideal customer is a mom who is a crafter. Maybe for her, she prefers video content. So maybe YouTube might be an option, or maybe she likes recipes. So maybe if you are a food blogger, for example, you would have a blog giving out recipe ideas or anything else related to food. I'm just making it up here. So think about what resonates best with you and where your audience is spending their time, and think about what is going to work best for your business or your brand. So the next question you should ask yourself is, how much time is this going to take? So I would recommend you choose first a long format platform like a blog, a podcast, or a YouTube channel where you can produce longer content for your audience. So a short form platform is more social media, but you want to make sure you choose one long form platform, and that's going to be your main thing. You're going to have a long form platform that is going to be your main thing where you produce content. So think about, the question you should ask yourself is, how much time is it going to take me to produce content on this platform? I can tell you right now, if you choose YouTube, for example, there's more of a production with YouTube. That's going to take you more time, even though there's endless possibilities on YouTube. You have to have hair and makeup, there's production, lighting, all these things that you have to consider. Whereas a podcast, you can just do an audio podcast and it doesn't take that much time. You can actually record from your car or from anywhere. I mean, you can do that with YouTube as well. But again, you don't have to worry about lighting, production, and all that other stuff. And then there's the writing. Like if you're more in tune with writing, you don't have to worry about audio or video. You just have to worry about writing something out and making sure it's quality content for your ideal customer. So again, make sure it aligns with your gifts, your skills, your passions, where your audience actually spends time, and think about the time and the effort it's going to take you to actually produce this high quality content. So now that you've chosen your main platform to show up on, now you need to have an email newsletter. So that's another piece of content marketing that is vital for your business because this helps to build relationships with your customers. It provides value to them, information. It also points them to your website, your blog, your YouTube channel, or your podcast, and you can keep them abreast on new episodes or new content or giveaways or whatever it is that you're trying to present to them. You can also sell your services or products via that email newsletter. So an email newsletter is something that you definitely need for your business. Hey mom, I wanted to let you know about a new service that I'm providing. Is your business in need of a content audit? Well, with over 10 years of experience creating content that has reached millions of viewers, I can help you optimize your content strategy to connect with your ideal customer. So this is a comprehensive content audit that will highlight your brand's strengths, uncover opportunities, plus provide practical steps to achieve your goals. I'll also include a 30-day content calendar that will give you topic ideas tailored to your brand goals. Additionally, I'll give you a personalized step-by-step guide to implement these changes immediately. So if this sounds like it could be of value to you, click the link in the show notes. Maybe we can work together. All right, now let's get back into this episode. And once you've chosen your long-form platform, your main platform, and your email newsletter, now it's time to choose your short-form platforms, aka social media. So I know I've talked about in the past how on social media, it's the algorithm for the most part will only show your content to maybe 5% of your audience. And again, there's exceptions to this rule because there's influencers who, they have more engagement, etc., because they post on a more consistent basis. They have a whole strategy. And I'm not talking about that. So I'm talking about for you, even though I feel like your long format platform should be your main platform, I still think it can be useful and beneficial to be on social media for different reasons. And I have my different reasons for being on social media. It's not necessarily to grow a huge following, but it's to have a presence on social media because a lot of people, when they're deciding on who they want to do business with, they will look at your social media platform. They want to see if you're engaged. They want to see if you're active. They want to see what type of content you post so they can get to know you, so they can see what your values are. I mean, people do look at that kind of stuff when they decide to work with you or not, especially if you're a service-based provider. They want to see what you're all about. So I think it's very important to show up on social media, but make sure you know your strategy. Make sure you know the goals behind why you're on social media so you know what type of content you will be posting. And also, you want to make sure you are pointing people from your social media channels to your long format platform so they can get to know you even better. They can be nurtured by you. They can learn. They can get information, and then they can eventually buy from you. I know for me, when people are approaching me for different things, I go on their website first to make sure they're legit and they have a website. But I do also look at their social media to see if they're engaged, if they're current, if they're active. So there is a benefit to being on social media, even though I don't think that should be your main priority. And I've even said this to influencers who've come on my show who have their main platform on social media. I always recommend having a long format platform because you never know what's going to happen with social media. I know someone who had over 1 million followers on Instagram. Instagram just shut them down with no explanation and they're starting from scratch. So it is always good to have a long format platform, and even more having an email newsletter. So let's say something does happen to your platform, at least you have a collection of emails and you can email those people who follow you and let them know where you are showing up. So this is my strategy right now. So I will post a podcast episode once per week. And then with that same podcast content, I will repurpose that into a long blog post. And then I would repurpose that even more into short form content for my social media, which mine right now are Instagram and Pinterest. And I do have a Facebook page, but I'm not that active on it. When I post on Instagram, it automatically goes over to Facebook. So I wouldn't count that as a platform that I'm active on, but that's my strategy right now. So having said that, so now that you've chosen your long format platform, you need to decide which short format platform is best for your business. So just going back to when I first started almost 11 years ago, I literally thought I had to be on every social media platform. So when I first started, I had a Facebook business page. I had a personal Facebook page. I had Twitter, which is now X, I know. I had a LinkedIn page. I had something called Google something. There was a Google social media platform back then. I can't even remember the name of it, but it was Google something. I believe I had a YouTube channel, Pinterest. As time went on, I got a TikTok account, which I don't know why. And I think that is it. Oh yeah, and then I got Snapchat. I don't know why. I think I got that for the filters for my kids. But anyway, the point is when you are starting or when you're trying to get clear on the platform that you're going to show up on to produce content, you don't need to be on all these social media channels. So the bottom line is the bottom line. What are the goals for your business? I'm just going to talk about some of the top social media sites that you can consider for your business. So of course, there's Instagram, and that is great for influencer marketing and visual content. There's TikTok, which is great for viral content, and that draws a younger audience. And then there's Facebook, which is great for community building and paid ads. There's also Pinterest, which I think is wonderful. It's great for search engine optimization and shopping inspiration. There's LinkedIn, which is wonderful for business-to-business professionals, networking, thought leadership. That is a wonderful place for you to show your authority off. And although LinkedIn is a social networking site, it is primarily a professional networking site, but it's also a hybrid social media platform because you can showcase both your long format content, so you can write in-depth articles and really showcase your authority. And you can also showcase your longer videos for content marketing, for building your authority. So it is a really unique platform if you are a business professional. And there's X, which is formerly Twitter, and that's good for news and real-time conversations. And there's Snapchat, which is more for a Gen Z younger audience and short-lived content. And then there's Threads. It's an emerging platform for conversations. So those are some of the main platforms for short form content that are out there that you can think about. And again, you want to think about where your audience is hanging out. Are they hanging out on these platforms? If they are, you think about a strategy that is going to be in alignment with what you are doing. So this episode is really to get you to think about the strategy for your business or your brand. And everyone's going to do it differently. It's not one cookie cutter way to show up. Again, you have to think about your goals. Some people just starting, maybe they don't have an offer yet and they're just trying to build up their customer base, or maybe they're trying to build up their visibility, and maybe they just want to show up on a platform to promote their knowledge, their brand, and just let people know that they are coming. So their strategy might be different from an established business who is trying to sell. And because social media is not the best place to sell your products, maybe it's a way for you to get your social media audience to your long format platform so you can sell there. So again, it looks different for different businesses. There's no one size fit all, but hopefully today gave you just some insight and some strategy for what you should do for your business. So if after listening today and you feel like your brand is in need of a content audit, remember I can help you get to your bottom line. Feel free to book a content audit session with me and let me help you come up with a strategy for your content marketing. The link will be in the show notes. I hope this episode was helpful for you today. I hope you got some valuable insight. If you did, would you do me a favor and share this with another mom who could use this? As you know, my platform is meant to be a blessing to mothers, so any support from you would be so appreciated. Until next time.